Trending Accessibility welcomes you to a step-by-step installation of a European wet room with a curbless, barrier-free shower. Today's application will show you how to create a large open bathroom design for aging in place and universal design. We will use the adjustable fusion pan to make an open environment suitable for all needs. In this corner application, we're going to pull the shower pan away from the wall, creating a larger footprint for the shower. Since we're waterproofing the whole area, the shower can be as large as it needs to be. Part 1. Gathering your kit and supplies, and preparing your space for shower pan installation. First, let's look at your installation kit. It includes a structural, load-bearing, adjustable fusion shower pan, the tile drain, liquid waterproofing, 1 roll of rubberized crack isolation tape, 2 rubberized crack isolation corners, the gasket membrane, 24 2.5-inch screws, and 12 3/4-inch screws. And here are the tools you'll need, not included in the kit. A drill, a circular saw, a reciprocating saw, a level, a square, a caulk gun, a hammer, a utility knife or scissors, a tape measure, paint rollers, a paint brush, a belt or orbital sander and sandpaper, latex or acrylic caulk, construction adhesive, solvent cement and primer, splash goggles, and chemically resistant or impermeable gloves. You'll install the shower pan in a standard bathroom. Place the adjustable fusion pan in desired location and mark the edge of the pan on the subfloor. What if the pan doesn't fit in the space you have to work with? You can cut the pan up to the center section using standard power equipment like a circular saw. Cutting guidelines are included in the printed instructions. Using a circular saw, set the depth to the same thickness as the subfloor so that you don't cut into any of the joists or support below. In most cases, the subfloor is glued to the floor joists, which could make the removal more labor-intensive. For our demonstration, the subfloor was not glued in. The piece of subfloor you cut out can be discarded. The structural pan should sit on floor joists no wider than 16 on center. If the floor joists are wider than 16, you need to add blocking accordingly. Place the pan in the cutout and make sure it fits into the opening. You'll need to put blocking all around the perimeter of the pan for stability. The blocking goes halfway under the subfloor and halfway under where the pan will sit. Notice that the drain hole is located off-center and can be rotated 360 degrees. This allows you to either miss the floor joists or get as close to the existing plumbing as possible. It's a unique feature of this pan. You now want to make sure that the rotating plate lines up with the waistline. First, insert the rotating plate onto the adjustable shower pan. If the drain position lands over a joist, simply rotate the plate until free of obstacles. Once the plate is set in the desired location, mark the orientation on the plate and the pan. This will ensure that you have the plate properly aligned when you go to reinstall it later. When pulling out subfloors, there are many different types of floor systems and floor joists. This pan is designed for use with 16-inch on-center floor joists. We've used 2x3s for this example, but they won't be the floor joists you'll encounter in the field. You'll be more likely to find TGI joists, 2x10 or 2x12 dimensional floor joists, and floor trusses. Floor joists spaced 16 on center are ideal. TGIs and floor truss are often spaced more widely. If that is the case, you need to add more blocking to support the pan. An important thing you'll need to double check is that you have a level floor where you'll be setting the pan. You have to check the floor for level in both directions. Your prep is done, so now you can install the shower pan. Part 2. Installing the pan. You now have prepared your space for a barrier-free, curbless shower. Now you're going to install the shower pan. You'll glue the pan to the floor joists and blocking using any standard construction adhesive. Utilizing the construction adhesive, glue every one of the blocks you've put in and all the floor joists the same way you would glue down the subfloor itself. The pan has countersunk holes evenly spaced around the perimeter. Fasten the pan in every one of these holes. Do not over-tighten any of the screws, as this can force the pan out of level. Now pre-drill the holes for the rotating plate and attach it using the 3/4 inch screws provided. Be sure to match up the marks you made earlier. After the pan is securely attached, double check that the pan is level across the front, along the width, and diagonally. If you find it necessary to drill a hole for fastening along the perimeter, you'll need to countersink that screw. In most cases, you should have enough fastening with the holes provided. Using a sander, rough up the surface of the pan so the waterproofing will better adhere. Sand off the manufacturer's sticker that's on the front of the pan. Make sure to sand off the sticker's adhesive as well. Next up, installing the backer board. Part 3. Installing the tile backer board. Now you're ready to put the tile backer on both the floor and the walls. We recommend using 1/2 inch plywood on the walls so it will support any towel or grab bar that might be installed later. Fastening such items directly into plywood, rather than trying to find the studs, will also make future additions easier. This is the only time to install any other dimensional blocking that would be required for features such as shower seats, often desirable in barrier-free showers. When choosing the substrate that you'll use as your tile backer, first take a close look at the pan in relation to the subfloor you have. The pans are 7/8 of an inch thick. The standard subfloor is approximately 3/4 inches thick in most cases, which leaves us with the pan standing about a 1/4 inch above the subfloor. So if you use a 1/4 inch tile backer, when it's installed on the floor, it will flush with the pan, giving you the barrier-free results you want. Any tile backer that's rated according to local building codes will work well for this use. And now, put the tile backer in place. Make sure you add some screws along the front edge of the subfloor and fasten them down into the blocking. With the edge of the subfloor secured, fasten the tile backer board down. For this demonstration, we're using screws to hold the tile backer down. Some people use thinset or construction adhesive in addition to the screws. Fill in any gaps around the perimeter of the pan over 1/8 of an inch with latex caulk. Once the standard tile backer has been put in, you'll notice that there's a slight height difference around this front edge of the pan. But when a level is laid across that pitch, it joins the front edge, so don't consider this a problem. When the tile installers set the tile, they'll be able to fill that space with some thinset, and will let the tiles start sloping to the drain at that point. Part 4. Installing the drain. Now that the pan is installed and fastened securely, you're ready to install the drain that came with the kit. This drain comes fully assembled in the box. It also comes with the fastening screws to secure it into the pan. Take the drain assembly apart so that you're installing only the adapter flange right now. On the base of the drain flange, you'll see the standard shower plumbing tail. Take that out along with all of its washers. Using an 1/8 inch drill bit, pre-drill the holes for the screws. After pre-drilling the 4 holes, put latex caulk underneath and seal this ring to the pan. It's important to use the latex product here. Latex will not work on top of silicone, and latex waterproofing is what you will use to seal the shower. Wipe off any excess caulk that squeezes out. Then use the stainless steel screws to fasten the flange to the pan. In a real setting, the bottom part of this tail would have been glued to the 2-inch trap already underneath the flange that you just installed. We'll assume that this tail is already fastened underneath the pan to the top of the waist, and we'll install this section right now. Next, you'll put the washers down through the hole. They should rest directly on top of the drain tail. The inside of the tail is threaded. Run latex caulk sealant, not silicone, around the outside edge. Set it down into this hole and get it threaded into the top section. Then twist it in tight. Drop a standard speed square into the hole to turn it until it's completely snug. After you clean up debris and vacuum away the dust from sanding, you're ready to apply the waterproofing. Part 5. Waterproofing. With your working area cleaned up and vacuumed well so that it's dust-free, you can begin waterproofing or tanking the bathroom. In most cases, you'll put the waterproofing on the floor and all the way up the walls of the shower area. We recommend waterproofing the entire bathroom floor to create a true European wet room. Start by staging your waterproofing tools and supplies. There are 2 pre-formed rubberized crack isolation corners, a pre-cut drain gasket, and a roll of rubberized crack isolation tape for all of the joints to apply both up the walls and across the floors. This tape is very flexible and will adhere on both sides of each joint, providing a crack isolation membrane in addition to the waterproofing. Cut all the sections of tape to fit the shower before you begin applying them. Use scissors for this rather than a utility knife, because scissors work better on the tape's rubber membrane. When all your tape is cut and you have everything staged and ready to go, open the bucket of waterproofing liquid and stir it well. It's liquid latex and has a thick texture, but you can easily apply it with a roller or a brush. We highly recommend wearing rubber gloves when working with the latex waterproofing. After it dries, it's very hard to clean off. When applying the waterproofing, get a good amount of the liquid on your brush. It's necessary to apply the liquid onto the pan and the walls, then set the tape onto it, and then brush all the bubbles out. Starting from the inside and working toward the outside edges, set the tape down into the latex. It's important to work quickly before the latex begins to set. Fold the tape in half to fit into place, and make sure each piece overlaps the ones next to it by half an inch or more. Now you're ready to install the pre-cut drain gasket. First, make sure the clamping ring is removed from the drain. Then, moisten the drain area where you're going to put it. Cover all the flat surfaces with a good amount of the waterproofing. Make sure that you've applied plenty of liquid underneath every corner to help hold it down. If you have a corner without enough waterproofing, just lift it up and add more, working everything to the outside edges. It doesn't matter if it sets up and it gets tacky and your tape doesn't stick. If that happens, just lift it up and re-wet it. Place the gasket over the drain adapter flange, making sure to cover all screw holes and securely press down into flange. Now attach the clamping ring. Apply a primer and solvent cement to the inside of clamping ring. Press firmly into position and allow the solvent to set. Press the clamping ring down. It may take about 60 seconds for the cement to form a bond. Coat the top of the gasket piece with liquid waterproofing. We always recommend that you waterproof outside the shower into the rest of the bathroom space. This is what makes it a European wet room. You can use the same tape and the same techniques that you used inside the shower to cover the joints of your tile backer throughout the rest of the bathroom. Now that you have the tape and the waterproofing in place, and the drain gasket is securely fastened, you're ready to step away and let your work dry for a few hours before adding the second coat. Make sure no one walks in the area or disturbs it in any way. Dust can ruin the first coat's ability to bond cleanly with the second coat. Adding the second coat achieves the 40 ml thickness the manufacturer requires to make the waterproofing complete. Roll the second coat over everything, using the same roller you used the first time. When your second coat is complete, let it dry for 6 to 8 hours before you begin tiling. Part 6. Installing the drain grate and preparing to tile. Before you start tiling, look at your tape joints to see if you have any wrinkles or bubbles in the tape. If you find them, make small slits in the tape and fill them with liquid waterproofing. It's important to fix any bubbles or wrinkles in this way, and to let the new waterproofing you add dry for another 6 to 8 hours before the tile is installed. Otherwise, the imperfections could interfere with the success of your tile job. When all the waterproofing has dried, check the thickness of your tile and determine how to work it in with the drain's grate frame. Put the grate frame in place. The grate frame is designed to dial in and out, allowing you to adjust the height of the grate frame to the thickness of your tile and to turn the grate frame into your desired position. An extension ring is included for thicker tile. To set the permanent height of the grate frame, place a floor tile beside the frame. Rotate the frame until the height is about 1/16 of an inch higher. This accounts for adhesive thickness. Now mark the position of the adjustment ring. This mark shows the final height position. Remove the ring, apply solvent cement, and realign components to your marked position. It is best to hold securely until the pieces are fully bonded. The metal grate frame can be rotated to match the direction of the tile. Pack this entire cavity under the drain grate with thin set. After the tile is set, put the drain's stainless steel grate into place. It is a friction fit and must be pressed all the way in. Now your shower pan installation is complete, and you're on your way to a barrier-free shower.